She was like, have you ever gotten waxed down there? And I was
in
like,
high school?
girl, in 7th grade. Oh my God.
Hi, girlies. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Bria.
How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling better, y'all. We smoked the THC Design hybrid joints. See, she's not okay.
I'm not, because you pulled it out and then I was like,
It just, you got a little flashback there. Yeah. These are a little strong. These are a little strong. Or I wouldn't say strong. They're a little indica heavy, I feel. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. This is for the night.
Yeah.
Not for the daytime.
So we fucked that up. But other than that, highly recommend. I guess maybe if you're going to sleep soon.
Yeah.
It would be good.
Well, what's new with you?
I have just been really thinking back to my early days. You know, I consider myself to be a 90s baby. I actually consider myself to be more of a 2000s baby than a 90s baby because I don't really remember a lot of the 90s. But
you were born in 1994.
4.
Gosh. Wow.
So I really don't remember stuff until like 98, maybe. I don't know, 99. So I feel like I'm more of a 2000s. Do you feel like you identify more with like the 90s or the 2000s?
I feel like I'm a 90s baby.
What was your year? 91?
92.
Oh, 92.
Excuse you.
Oh.
Right during the Rodney King riots.
Oh, in LA.
Came in like a flash. Not really. I was actually born on a Lakers Bulls playoff game and the Lakers lost.
Oh. Did your parents think that was a bad omen?
No, but my mom was pissed because she said my dad and my doctor were not paying attention to her and like, in labor, but she also was 10 days late.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they should have probably induced. Now they would have induced her.
Yeah.
But they were just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Where was this? In Marina Del Rey-ish?
Cedar Sinai, where most LA natives are born.
Right. The celeb hospital.
Well,
I only hear about it because it's like Kourtney Kardashian had her baby at Cedar Sinai. It's like, wow, the baby wing is popping.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. But yeah, I identify as a 90s baby. Like, I feel like some of my early memories are like having like a plastic blow up couch and chair. Like,
you would say that's 90s?
Yeah, and it's 2000s.
I feel like it could be 2000s. They kind of bleed together a little bit.
Maybe I say like I'm a 90s baby, but then all my great memories of things is in the 2000s, I guess.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like my thing memories.
Yeah, because I was like 5 in 1997.
Okay, you remember stuff from when you were 5.
Yeah,
but you remember more stuff from when you were 8 than when you were 5.
Right. Like I feel like, yeah, like I remember like quintessential 2000s childhood to me in the beginning is like having Groovy Girl dolls.
Oh, I never had that.
Oh my God, you really?
No, I did Bratz.
I had that too, but not really because my mom was like, fuck them because she worked for Mattel. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So Bratz.
I feel like she made you miss out on.
I had Bratz dolls.
Okay.
But it was a struggle.
Okay, you had to do some convincing. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I had low-key every toy. I feel like I had Barbies. I had Bratz dolls.
Polly Pockets.
Had
Cabbage Patch Kids.
I had the Polly Pockets too that were like the ones with the rubber outfits. I was obsessed with those. Paget, what's it called?
What?
Nope.
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Mm-hmm. This is the learning disability coming out. You can see it
Paget. Yeah.
Okay. Cabbage Patch Kids. I had like one. American Girl dolls.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. I had the horse.
Wow. Okay. I don't know if I had the horse.
My friend, or maybe I thought I had the horse, but my friend had it. And I thought I begged for it. I like begged for the horse.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I got the horse.
I love thinking back to this time, which is why I'm so grateful that today we're talking about millennial nostalgia. This is for the millennials. I guess if Gen Z is listening, we're trying to educate, but
yeah,
this is just a little trip down memory lane this week.
Maybe this can put another brick in the road as to show how we are so fucked up as a generation. Materialistic.
Yeah, and like celebrity gossipy and just.
I can see why Gen Z hates us, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, Gen X can see why millennials don't like Gen X, and
I don't
boomers
really
can see
care
why
about
Gen X doesn't.
I feel like Gen X is just kind of like, meh.
I'm sometimes I get a little bothered by Gen X.
I forget they're even there sometimes.
Oh, wow. This
Boomers
is going to be a clip that we're never going to forget.
Boomers are annoying, right? Like,
yeah, everybody's anti-boomer.
They don't know how technology works. They have very opinionated things that are based in nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
fall for things very easily, fall for AI images, conspiracy theories.
Like, once they're gone, like, honestly, with the wedding of it all, these people are like, I didn't know how to RSVP. It says it on the card. You got the invitation. Am I wrong?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Then they said it was hard to read and that they couldn't read the text. Put your glasses on and read it. And then go to www.zola.com/our wedding website.
Right.
And someone
frustrating.
said to me yesterday, as soon as they're gone, like, all this stuff will be a lot easier.
Someone said that to you?
Well, they're just like, it'll be funny when like the boomer generation's gone and people RSVP for weddings will be a lot easier for everybody. And I was like,
honestly, a few things would be easier, I think.
I mean, some of them get it, right? Like, don't get me wrong. It's the ones that try. It's like the ones who don't.
Yeah.
It's tough. Gen X, I never hear a peep out of them. I think they're just like too busy, like, being parents and grown-ups to like give a care of the world. Like, I don't know what their generation really represents.
I think it's mostly like independence. Like, they were the kids who grew up in a household where both their parents were working and they would like come home and be alone and have to like kind of raise themselves a little bit more. I think a lot of their issues are based in that.
And we're just like the complainy generation.
Yeah, because we feel like because we all got a trophy in AYSO soccer and like, you know, you get points for effort, then everything should be a lot easier. And yet we're the first generation to like not be able to afford to buy a house and like not be able to even afford a 1-bedroom apartment and all of that shit. So it's a lot.
And then Gen Z is like, whatever.
Fuck it. Let it burn.
Let it burn. We've seen it in the beginnings of our lives be shitty. So
we had social media. We've been on social media since I was 5 years old. I know what the fuck is up. I was on Live Leak watching ISIS beheadings at age 6, bitch. Well, I know you. Yeah.
I know you.
I know you.
Well,
anyway.
What's some of your most like prized nostalgic items that you have fond memories of?
A big one for me after the Walkman came the iPod. Me with my little white headphones on, listening to my iPod was everything. It was my moment where I could just be.
I think back to the first iPod I had, and I felt like it was so like technologically rich.
Yeah.
Like
it was so smooth.
It was so smooth, and like even the button in between the scrolly thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember like just loving hearing the sound of the scroll.
Yes. And the scroll was smooth. It was like the first time a scroll was smooth.
Yeah.
It just, it felt very sleek in the hand.
It was kind of wild because there was never really any technology that was like also so beautiful. I sound like such a nerd right now. But
no, it really was a big deal.
It was kind of wild. Like, for a sensory, it's like, I can see why. I mean, Apple is genius, but like they really, I feel like, nailed the iPod. Because also there were other things that were out like the iPod, right? Like there was
Zune.
Yeah, and it was just like,
if you had a Zune,
you could have the MP3 on the shit, but like it didn't have like a screen. It wasn't like the way that the iPod was created was so genius.
It was. Were you the type of person who was paying for your music on the Apple Store or illegally downloading it through like Napster?
Okay, so what I'll say is, first, my I bought songs because I got an iPod, because there was never, maybe there was Napster, but I was too young to know what that was.
LimeWire.
FrostWire. See, okay, so I fuck with LimeWire because I feel like when the iPod came out, I was in middle school and buying songs was just really easy. And I also feel like at that age, you're not needing to have an abundance of music. You're kind of listening to it on your own. Whereas then when you get to high school, you're playing it out loud. When you're playing at practice, you're going to parties. Like, you just need more like music. You're driving, right? Like, so LimeWire, maybe I used LimeWire maybe like in 8th grade to like high school, or I'm trying to remember. But yeah, I remember I lived. And then I felt like there was a version of LimeWire after LimeWire that was like even better.
FrostWire.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like Snow something.
Yes, FrostWire was so good, and it got me into the habit. Like, I'm just gonna download the whole album.
That's why I loved it.
Yeah,
because it was like, oh, we're just downloading albums.
And you know what? Sometimes you download the wrong thing. Sometimes instead of a song, you get the "I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did, however, go to." True, you could. Sometimes it would interrupt every once in a while, or like the DJ, the person who uploaded it, like their thing would pop up throughout it.
I remember when Spotify came out, and I was just like, damn, all those hours I spent trying to find the right version of a song on LimeWire.
Because sometimes it was like the audio was very fuzzy, or like it just didn't sound good.
I mean, there was a point in college, my freshman year, because I think I got Spotify my sophomore year of college. I'll never forget, like, my friend Allison from high school. We were in her car smoking weed, and she was playing shit on Spotify, and I was like, what is that? And she was like, oh, it's this new app. Like, you can play any song.
In high school or in college?
College. It was like,
okay.
Might have been the summer of freshman year going into sophomore year. And I was like, you can play any song? And she was like, there's ads, but like, yeah, you can play any song. This is before you could pay for it, I think. Or maybe she was like, I don't want to pay for it.
Were you using Pandora before that?
I did use Pandora.
I feel like Pandora was the OG.
I did use Pandora. I remember senior year of high school because I remember playing Pandora when we were editing the yearbook. But I remember, like, I hated Pandora because you could never pick what song you wanted to listen to.
And there were so many ads.
And then in freshman year, there was a thing where you could rip YouTube videos as MP3s.
Yes. YouTube to mp3.com.
Yeah. Shout out.
I still use it sometimes.
Oh, I didn't know it was still around.
Yes. You can download the actual video as an MP4, or you can download it as an MP3.
Wow. You know what I miss too is, like, and I feel like I have it on my iPhone, so clearly, like, it's a recent thing that went away, but like setting ringtones as songs.
Yes.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking. I don't think you can do that, because I would love to do it.
I know. I want to change some ringtones, but like I remember purchasing songs as ringtones.
Yes.
Like, I would pay
there
extra.
were commercials where you could like text and pay.
Well, but even like on iTunes, like I bought a song. Well, okay, so I feel like first it was when the iPhone came out, you could choose from any song in your library to be a ringtone, which was crazy and definitely illegal, I guess. Because then they changed it from, if you want a specific ringtone, you have to pay 99 cents for it.
Wait, but I remember you just brought up a memory of like going on iTunes and going to the ringtone section and there being these like 8-bit versions of the ringtone.
That's when you could buy it.
Okay, but those weren't like the actual recording. It was like someone had redone it.
Oh.
Because I remember my mom had Hey Ya as her ringtone, and it was like on a little keyboard, like an 8-bit thing from iTunes.
Oh, maybe she did buy that one.
I don't know. My mom was really on top of her ringtones.
Really?
Like anytime there was a trending song, she was like, I remember she changed her ringtone at one point to that song that was like, clean on the inside, cream on the outside. Like that.
Shut up.
Yes. Ice cream paint. That was ice cream paint job. Yeah. She was really on top of it.
In high school, my ringtone was grass monkey, that funky monkey. Grass monkey chunky.
Brass
that
monkey.
monkey. Oh, brass monkey. Yeah.
I don't even remember my ringtones. Aw.
Really?
But I really miss the days of like having a specific ringtone and
For
that being your
people.
thing.
Yeah. I remember people had the fuck this shit. Don't shit out.
Fuck the presents, I threw all that shit out. Iman.
Yeah, people had that as a ringtone.
Oh my God.
It was
I
weird.
loved that song. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you're bringing me back. Speaking of song, I feel like the best use of music had to be the MySpace profile song. I treated that so seriously. At one point, I'd coded in like a playlist with like multiple songs in it. I was very much about setting the vibe.
See, I don't really remember my MySpace days, but I know that they were there. Like, all I remember is selecting my top 8 and then just...
Oh my
I wasn't really
God.
like into it as much. Like, I would change the skins and stuff, but
Oh my God, I
yeah.
was so into it. I did do the top 8 thing too. I actually at one point cut it down to a top 4 because I was like, this is more exclusive than you bitches know.
oh shit.
But I was always like changing the colors of my profile. Like for Christmas, I changed my background to this red with white polka dots, very Abercrombie and Fitch style.
Oh my God.
And I changed it to like my song was like a Nate Campany, like acoustic song with like sleigh bells in it. I was really into
you
it.
were really into it.
I
Holy
was.
shit.
And that was the first time that like I was following influencers and stuff too. Because there were MySpace
See,
influencers.
I didn't do that.
Really?
Only person I followed that was like an influencer on MySpace was Tila Tequila.
Oh my God, Tila Tequila.
What a interesting human.
She has really fallen off the deep end, but back then she was on point. And I remember it being a huge deal, her going from being a MySpace celebrity to having her own show on MTV.
Yeah.
That was amazing. But I had a lot of people like that who I followed, like the Scene Girlies and
Really?
I followed Jeffree Star on MySpace.
See, I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I don't know. I wasn't like see, this is very telling of our lives now, honestly.
Yeah. Even back then, I was like, social media is like an aesthetic. It's like a story you're trying to tell. And like, I'm following specific people based on their different vibes and aesthetics and stuff.
A lot of people said they would pay money to like port their MySpace followers into like their current followers.
Right. Because a lot of them didn't. Even now, when I see someone who was famous on MySpace back in the day on TikTok or something, I'm like, oh my God, Matthew Lush. It's been years.
Wow, you know them like that.
Sometimes I'll recognize them, yeah. Or like Hannah
Holy
Beth,
shit.
like will pop up every once in a while. She was like a big scene girl.
Wow, that's crazy.
Jack Vanek from Lady Gang. She was a scene girl.
So would you say you were scene or emo or neither or both?
I was trying to be seen.
So explain the difference between emo and scene for people.
Well, okay. So it's two different kind of aesthetics. Emo is like you wear all black, you're depressed, like you have the swoopy hair over the eye, that kind of shit. Scene is like bright colors, Hello Kitty, like neon green hair extensions, a mullet where it's like super short
You
and big
were
at the
scene?
top. I was scene aesthetically, but I was emo musically. Like I didn't listen to the hyper pop, like Mason, Superstar. I kind of listened to like Uffy stuff occasionally, but I was more into like the pop punk, emo
and you dressed
music.
like that?
I would wear black. I would like take pictures for my MySpace profile, like try to do my hair into a fake mullet and like tease it really at the top and then like have the bottom straight. And
Wow.
I always was buying like the Jeffree Star bright pink merch or the Jam Jars, like baby cakes clothing. Yeah. I was
I'm
very
blown
much
away.
into it. I
Holy
am
shit.
too. My name was Bria Brutality, bitch.
Oh my God. Holy shit.
And I swear at one point I had like 4,000 friends and I was like, I am literally famous.
Oh, you were really into it. Did
I
your parents
loved
know
it.
at all what was going on?
No. They did. No.
No.
Unsupervised social media access from a very young age.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. I feel like our parents truly had no fucking clue what we were doing. All they knew is like they didn't want us on Facebook, but they couldn't control it. Like I remember so many news clips being like, Facebook is the devil. Like Facebook
I don't remember that.
They just really were. Oh my God, they were so anti social media when Facebook was a thing, and like I remember creating one. Like I didn't even think like twice about asking my mom if I could.
I don't even think I had a Facebook until I was going away to college.
That makes sense because you're 2 years younger than me.
Because until nearing the end of my high school, you couldn't get on there without a college email.
Like I joined Facebook my sophomore year of high school. I'll never forget. Lauren, she set it up. She had one. She was like, "You don't have this yet." Lauren, like low-key, always checked me for not doing things that like I guess I should have been doing at that time. The trends. And, like I remember changing. I would sleep over her house a lot before school sometimes, and I don't know why my mom let me do that, honestly. But
sleep over on a school night?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I burned my finger. I remember when we were getting ready for school because she had the iron on, and I didn't know she had the iron on, and I touched it.
Ooh.
And like to this day, the skin is still like not healed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But then she also said to me, like, she was like, "Have you ever gotten waxed down there?" And I was like,
in high school?
Girl, in 7th grade. And I said, "No." And then she was like, "Oh, you should." And she was like, "Everybody else does." And I was like, "What?" I was always behind the fucking times.
No, but this is what I mean when I say that you LA kids were growing up very quickly.
Yeah, like shaving. I remember begging my mom, "Let me shave. Please let me shave. I want a razor." My mom was like, "You have blonde under armpit hair. You're not shaving. Like, you don't need to."
I want to know why moms were so, like, I don't feel like my mom was against shaving, but it's like a thing that moms didn't let you shave. Why did they care?
I don't know. They were so like, my mom was so precious about it. She was like, "Once you start, you can never stop." It's like, okay, fine.
Also, that's not true. You can stop whenever you want.
Right. Well, in their eyes, it's like, well, you'll just be hairy. But, you know, like, I don't know. It's like.
But you're going to be hairy if you don't shave in the first place anyway.
Exactly.
Come on.
I mean, that was that. And then using tampons was the thing. Like, God, that was traumatizing, trying to learn how to use a tampon.
I could not use a tampon until college. I specifically remember my best friend Kiana coming to visit me in North Carolina and wanting to go swimming. And I was like, "I can't. I'm on my period." And she was like, "Just put in a tampon." And I was like, "No, I really can't."
Yeah, that was not a thing. I remember girls in our middle school who were like no tampon girlies. And I'll never forget this one girl, Haley, who was fucking weird. But like, I was nice to her. I was nice enough to her. She tried to drown my babysitter's child. It was really bad.
What?
We had like a play date one day, and her and my other friend Andy, I think, were there. And then my babysitter's child like didn't know really how to swim, but she would always play on the stairs in the pool and like in the shallow end. But if she had gone off the stairs, she would drown. Like she wasn't tall enough to stand up or she didn't know how to swim yet. She was like maybe 3, and we didn't see what happened, but all we heard was screaming from my babysitter. And we could see that like Haley was just like watching this child in the pool drowning. And I'm a really good swimmer. I sprinted over there and picked Melissa up out of the pool because my babysitter was like about to get in, but she had a bunch of shit on her. Like, and it's so crazy because when I was younger, maybe like 4 years prior to this, she had jumped in the pool because she thought one of her kids was drowning, and she had her pager on her and like all this electronic stuff. So I think she was afraid to do that again. Yeah, it was really bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, so she didn't drown the babysitter's kid. She just kind of watched it happen and was just like.
I think what she did was she pulled her off the stairs or was like playing with her and then let her try to swim, and she couldn't, and then she didn't fucking save her. Just watched her like a sadistic fuck. And she was like that.
And she was a no tampon girl?
She was no tampon girl. And I remember like one of our friends, Killian, he would have these dope like end of the year parties for us, like when we were in middle school and elementary school at his grandma's house in Beverly Hills. And that one of those parties, she had to like sit out and she just stared at everybody because she was on her period, and everybody knew she was on her period.
Why would you even go?
Right. Exactly. It was so weird.
Damn.
It was weird. So, I feel like you can't grow up in LA and like not know how to use a tampon in those social settings.
That makes sense, honestly. That you guys would be thinking about waxing because you're in your swimsuit and you're like self-conscious.
A lot, dude. A lot. Yeah. So,
what she really should have done is picked up her razor, her Motorola razor, and been like, I'm not coming, bitch. And they were like, why? And then she was like, because I don't feel like it. And then clicked that shit closed on them.
You mean her Nokia?
Oh, she didn't have a flip?
I had a Nokia first.
Oh, okay.
The brick Nokia. The shit that you would bounce. Literally, I'll never forget in middle school bouncing that phone. I dropped it on the ground and it bounced back up into my hand. I am not fucking kidding you.
Shut the fuck
With
up.
My what's her name?
Betty Boop.
Betty Boop case. The fact that you knew that I got at the mall, at the Howard Hughes Mall.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. That is hilarious.
You remember all the skins you could buy?
No, because I mean, vaguely, because my mom had one, but I never had a Nokia. I had like a little Samsung white flip thing.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I think I got a razor after that.
I guess you could have changed the razors on or the skins on your razor, but not really, right?
You could, or a lot of people bedazzled them. That was
not
great.
A bedazzler.
Well, they had like pre-bedazzled things that you could just stick on.
Literally was like, fuck rhinestones for a long time.
Even throughout like the Paris Hilton bedazzled sidekick era.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I was not a bedazzled girly because I think I was coming out of my tomboy era.
Oh.
Like bedazzle and pink was still not cool to me.
What the fuck is up with that? Did we all go through a tomboy era?
Totally.
I went through like I don't give a fuck. I'm going to wear my etnies and my camo pants and just like live my best life.
I bought Gap boy jeans because I didn't fit in girls jeans with my butt.
Were they camo?
I'm sure I had a pair.
But I feel like Gap had the camo pants.
I have a picture, low-key, I have to find and show you, where it's like me and my best friend Alex in middle school, or like not even middle school. It was like, must have been like third grade, walking out of our Janet Jackson lip sync performance with my hair, glasses, a Ralph Lauren like croppy top shirt, with my low rise like Gap boy jeans that didn't fit me except for in the butt.
That is so iconic. Wow, with the Ralph Lauren. Were you ever like into the Limited 2 stuff?
Oh yeah.
I feel like Limited 2 was too girly for me. Like
really?
There was at one point they made like a t-shirt with a tie on it, and it was like the Avril Lavigne time, and I was like, ooh, I'll get that. But that was the only thing I ever got from there.
Okay, I remember. Do you remember the cheerleading outfits?
No.
You could buy from Limited 2 like fake cheer uniforms. And I remember girls at my school had them, like certain girls. And I remember being like, God, I want one of those so bad. And my mom would literally
They would wear them to school?
Yeah, but then one girl kind of abused it. And then she started getting made fun of. Like, they're like, man, she must think that she's a cheerleader. And she's... They would call her like fat.
No.
And ugly. Yeah, it was really bad. She got ridiculed at school to the point where she had to transfer out, and then she had a fucking glow up, and then people were like, God damn.
Where is she now? Do you know?
I don't know, but her dad was like a big wig at HBO, because I remember we would go on some field trips to visit her dad on set filming HBO shows. And I remember being like, why the fuck are we here? Like, I don't know what this is.
Bitch,
like,
what you should have been doing is walking around and doing a little song and dance for all the people in there and been like, keep an eye out for me in 6 years.
No.
That's what you should have done.
But that girl, like, she was chunky as a kid for sure. And she had all the fat in her entire body go to her tits, like, when she went through puberty. It was crazy.
God bless.
Huge boobs. Yeah. Wow. Her family was very rich. I don't know why, but I was definitely the child that people were like, how do I say this? I guess nice and like I feel like I wasn't popular in middle school or in elementary school, but for some reason, like a lot of people like liked me because I got invited to a lot of like crazy shit. Like one of my friends invited me to go to Scotland with her family.
What?
For 2 weeks, and all my parents had to do was pay for my flight.
Oh my God.
And we stayed in a castle, bitch. It was crazy.
What?
It was crazy. And I remember our friend who was like the popular girl in our group being pissed off that I got asked and she did not. Because she was like, Jenny is like whatever. And I'm like way more your friend. And I was like, I don't give a fuck.
You know what? Who gives a fuck? You're reaping the benefits as you should.
But that girl who was chunky, her parents have a fat house on the beach in Malibu, and I got to sleep over there because I was nice to her, even though everyone was mean to her. And I'll never forget, we lost her hamster in that big house. It was so bad. I remember being so excited to play with her hamster because I wanted one so badly. In hindsight, I'm like, ew, because it's a rat.
It's a rodent.
It's not
a rat.
I think I loved it because of Kim Possible, honestly. But we were playing with her hamster, and then I don't know what happened, and gone.
You know what? That's a very common hamster situation. Yeah. I remember Will telling me that he had a hamster named Tickles, and then it just kept disappearing or getting sucked up in the vacuum and shit. And so his mom would just keep buying new hamsters and name them like Tickles 2, Tickles 3, Tickles 4. It's bad. God. What was your experience like with the reality TV shows of the 90s and 2000s? Because they were new, but MTV was everything at that time.
I remember watching, I want to say I watched The Challenge first.
Wow.
As a reality show that I was obsessed with. Like cause I want to say maybe the first reality show I ever saw was like American Idol.
Oh, yeah.
And
you never watched The Real World?
I did watch The Real World, but I feel like I watched The Real World after I watched The Challenge, or like at the same time.
Oh, interesting.
Because I feel like the first Real World I ever saw was Real World Austin or Real World Key West. No, I think it was Austin. Oh. And then at the same time, The Challenge Fresh Meat was airing.
Oh my God.
But
okay.
I also feel like I remember seeing other challenges before that, but never Real Worlds or any that I really remember. I was obsessed with The Challenge because I thought it was crazy that like they would make out and do all this shit and like yell at each other and get angry. Like I remember my dad constantly yelling at me being like, what the fuck is this shit? Like I just remember a summer discovering The Challenge, and then it was on so much in the summer and just binging that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never really got into The Challenge. I liked The Real World and I liked Road Rules, but I never like followed.
Yeah.
After that.
No, I must have watched Real World before that because I remember watching Road Rules Extreme and loving that, and I thought that was so interesting. And then I watched The Challenge. I don't remember. It's kind of all at the same time, so it's hard to remember, but that was like my first reality show experience. And then The Real World, and then it was like Flavor of Love,
yes,
Tila Tequila, Rock of Love, like
Jersey Shore was like starting around that time too.
I love Flavor of Love. I thought the concept was so
good,
crazy, and it was crazy because the generation that was watching it didn't really know who Flavor Flav. I didn't really know.
Had no idea. Yeah.
Right.
Or Bret Michaels.
Not at all.
I didn't know Bret Michaels.
Definitely like Flavor Flav. I was like, oh, he's a rapper that wears a really, really, really large clock, and that's really weird, but he's hilarious.
And I remember finding it so hard to believe that these like young 22-year-olds would be interested in them.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get the concept of like, I'm just going to go on a reality TV show because it's fun.
Yeah.
So I took it so seriously, but I loved it. And I loved Tiffany Pollard too.
Oh my God. We loved to hate Tiffany Pollard back then.
Oh my God. I never hated her. I feel like no. She was iconic. Did people genuinely hate her?
I feel like people were like, because they took it so seriously that she's fucking crazy, and it's.
But Pumpkin spit on her.
See, that's the other thing about these reality shows from back then. Like rewatching the challenge, I remember like low key hating people that I now love.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
I mean?
Even with like the Hills or Laguna Beach and stuff, like you hate Spencer back then. Now you're like, actually, he's kind of iconic.
Right. Like I remember like hating Wes on the challenge because that's what they wanted you to hate.
Yeah.
But then low-key being like, well, but it's not, it's kind of fucked up what they're doing. Then watching it back being like, oh yeah, they're fucking assholes. And he is like, but then he's done some assholey shit too. But anyway, like
the thing is that everyone on those shows is doing assholey shit.
That's how they painted New York. Like Tiffany.
Yeah.
They painted her as this crazy, I mean,
fighting with everyone.
I don't know if she legitimately is crazy, but she is.
I was bored, so I ruined lunch. I loved it.
Pumpkin did spit on her.
Pumpkin spit on her. Hottie was annoying. All New York wanted to do was chain smoke and hang out with Flav. And she didn't want anyone standing in her way. And you know what? I respect it.
It's also funny because I swear to God, Hot Chicks like came out around the same time as Flavor of Love, and her laugh is like Marlon Wayne's laugh when he's on Hot Chicks. It's like weird how there's a parallel.
Life imitates art, or art imitates life.
Yeah, like her laugh is like
kinda. Iconic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about white chicks.
What did I say?
You said hot chick.
I meant white chick. Sorry. This is still working.
Yeah. So reality TV was so good back then. It's honestly gone downhill.
I mean, my dad would argue with me to turn the TV off, and like, you know, sometimes you want to watch these shows when it was airing like in real time and you didn't have fucking TiVo yet.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch that shit until like 11 p.m. and he was like, go the fuck to bed. Like, stop watching. He was like, what is this trash? Like, he just didn't, they don't get it.
Oh my God. My parents totally got it. My mom was watching like Jerry Springer and shit. I think my family just likes mess. We've always liked it in every single form. Even now, like we all like Love Island and Real Housewives and shit like that. But it's definitely not ever going to be how it was back then. Because now people get that it's like a game you're going on. You're going to get followers or fame or whatever. Like, and so you're just trying to be as entertaining as possible. Back then it was more authentic-ish.
I mean, the idea of the week to me is like, you can bring back the real world, but it needs to be filmed in real time.
Yeah.
Like Love Island. Because I feel like if you record it and then you have it come out and then there's hate online, like, I don't know. For some reason, like, filming it in real time feels less damaging and also easily able to, like, address.
Yeah, but the storytelling is, like, such a huge part of the real world. It's like Terrace House on Netflix is, like, so boring because they're just filming it in real time and nothing's really happening. Whereas, like, the real world, they film everything, and then they look at what they have, and they can craft these interesting stories that are happening over time to make it more entertaining. Like, it's not like a Big Brother situation or Love Island where they have challenges and, like, people are getting eliminated and stuff like that. It's just kind of following their lives. So I
mean, the shit that happened on Real World, though, is wild.
It was
just saw
so
the most,
good.
like, iconic moments is really bad. But also, like, good in a way that other people who might be ignorant or never live with anybody who looks like
that's exactly it
outside of them. Like, I learned so much from the Real World. Me right too. Like, I remember Real World Denver.
Oh, I don't think I watched that one.
Oh my God,
what happened?
Real World Denver, there was some hate speech in like the first episode that gets thrown out, and you learn like that is not okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Pretty bad.
I remember, like, the first season of The Real World I watched was Hawaii when Ruthie was, like, an alcoholic. And, like, I was learning, like, about drinking, basically.
There's some seasons of The Real World that are not on Paramount Plus, and I
I
really want to know
know.
why. Like, because I watched the challenge and I like Anissa. Her.
Oh my god.
Did you
that's
ever watch
one of my favorite seasons
Real
of the
World
Real
Chicago?
Wasn't Chicago also the one where they found out about 9/11?
Is that the one?
I think so.
Maybe
yeah.
that's why. I don't know, but like Anissa's story seems interesting to me. I don't really know the full tea. I could probably search on Reddit, but like Anissa was a stripper. Like her mom is a white Jewish woman. Her dad, I think, is black, and like she is a proud Jewish black woman. I would just like to know her backstory more because she's like the favorite of the people who produce the challenge. Like she's been on the most seasons.
Really?
But I don't know her backstory, and I'd like to like know more because she seems like a really interesting person.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of very interesting people who live very interesting lives in the real world. Like Pedro having HIV.
Right.
Like Tammy Roman, who ended up being on Basketball Wives, going through an abortion on the Real World.
On Los Angeles, right?
Yeah. Like there's so much that happened. There was like they worked at a school in the first season of New York. And one of the kids was like, I hate gay people. And then they were like, well, what would you say if I was gay? Because like she's a lesbian.
I also feel like that's like so typical for 90s/2000s TV. As like I remember watching like there were so many sitcoms like Boy Meets World, The Cosby Show, and it would be like something fucked up would happen on the episode, right? Like I feel like on The Cosby Show there was something that happened where like Theo was called like the N-word or something like that, or something like bad like that happened, and then at the end it's like a life lesson, like you don't do this, right?
Yeah,
that shit doesn't happen anymore.
That's so true.
You know, and the real world is like the reality TV version of those sitcoms where like some fucked up shit would happen, but then the producers are like feeding them to like talk about that and like work through the issues.
Yeah.
Or not, but
let me get your conversation of you explaining to her why she can't catch HIV from sharing a house with you.
Or your confessional.
Right,
like, your confessional would go deeper into like the backstory behind this and like what your thoughts and why this is fucked up, or like, you know, the learning of it all.
Oh, I miss it. It was so good.
Yeah, it's giving like, you know, CBS or PBS.
Low key, yeah, it really was.
Like Arthur. And I said, hey,
what a wonderful time of the day. Oh my God, I loved Arthur.
Me too. I loved Arthur. You know who loves Arthur too? Maddie. She still has her, what was the girl?
Muffy?
No.
Francine.
No.
DW.
DW doll that is haggard but like still sleeps with DW.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God, DW is another one. You hated her when you were growing up watching it, but you look back and she's an icon.
She is a queen.
Wow, I love it. Okay, shall we end on a quote? Oh,
I liked ending on, and I said, hey, what a wonderful time today.
Oh, we're going to end on our favorite 2000s movie quotes.
Oh, that's
What's your
right.
number one?
I mean, I love, this is not a democracy. This is a cheerocracy.
I was trying to think of one from my Kirsten Dunst movie, which is Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh.
That one was so iconic, but all I can think of is Kirstie Alley saying, you know what the theme of this year's pageant is? A mayor? I can. That's all that comes to mind.
Well, we were talking about white chicks.
Oh my God. So many quotable moments in that one.
Yeah. Mean Girls is a huge one for me.
Yes. God, there are so many iconic quotes in Mean Girls.
God, Karen, you're so stupid.
Yeah.
You can't ask people why they're white.
Oh my God, you're so pretty. So you agree? You think you're really pretty? Oh, that movie is so iconic.
That movie hit home. Really
I don't
hard.
care if I have to keep you here all night. We can't keep him past 4. I will keep you till 4. Oh my God, so good.
I did not leave the inner cities for this.
The South Side.
Oh, the South Side? Oh, yeah, because they're in Chicago.
Oh my God, so good. Go watch your favorite 2000s movie today.
Comment
honestly.
below. What is your favorite 2000s movie and your favorite quote?
Ooh, you're tacky and I hate you. That's another good one.
Don't you be stomping your little lassies and Prada shoes at me, honey.
Who said that?
That's from Lily One.
Oh,
The Fermonium Flagaga.
oh my God. So good. Anyway, follow us at High Girlies Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts and rate us 5 stars on Spotify and participate in our Spotify polls.
Ooh.
There's going to be a poll.
Ooh.
Make sure you're doing the polls, guys.
Ooh.
Period.
And let us know what you want us to talk about. Do you like our weed education topics?
This is
Pop
very
culture?
educational, very intelligent, intellectual.
Intelligence.
Oh, I thought you were going to say intelligentsia.
Oh.
Whatever.
Almost. Not really.
Okay. Bye, girlies.